Hey guys, welcome to the Filthy Casuals podcast. My name's Tronk. I'm here with Matt McBlade and Zach. What's going on, guys? How are you guys doing today?
Good. Doing good.
That's good to
Yeah,
How are
hear.
you?
So,
doing great, man. Doing great.
yeah, so today we're just going to be covering different topics such as sports and gaming. So let's go ahead and do a little intro with Matt. So,
Yo, what's up, guys? Matt McBlade here. Old husband, father, IT engineer, sports fanatic, gaming nerd.
love it,
That's
love
it.
it. All right, what about you, Zach? What do you want to tell the
Yo.
people?
Oh God. So, I don't really stream, but I'm a
Sometimes.
big gaming fanatic, and I'm a frequent in both Trunk and Matt's streams. So, if you want to catch more of me, you just kind of chill out there or listen to these podcasts. Yeah, I work full time in some Latino sales, so I speak Spanish. But other than that, just that's about me.
All right,
He's
dope.
our translator.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so my part-time job is actually full-time, but I'm a sexy pool boy on the side, of course.
Emphasis on the sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just a gamer. Just love to game in my free time. Huge sports fan. Love football, NBA, and one of the topics we're gonna be talking about is NBA free agency. So
Ooh,
Kawhi
should
Leonard
we-
to
should
the
we start
Clippers.
there?
I'm so pissed.
I mean,
Like,
I'm
I'm
gonna get.
so pissed.
Dude,
You're gonna
the
get
I'm
me
happy he
very
didn't go to the
salty.
Lakers, but still, in my division with my Phoenix Suns, I don't know.
the
I mean,
Clippers,
you're gonna get me this salty this early in the first
Exactly.
podcast. Like,
Exactly.
I'm in Oklahoma City. Like, I'm a Thunder fan just by proximity, and they just sold the world. They just gave
Yeah.
it all up. Like,
but first off, let's
it's
talk about
done.
let's talk about the Clippers though. I mean, the Clippers are going to be absolutely insane. Like
Yeah.
if we take a
Insane.
step back, obviously we'll get into the Thunder here in a minute because the Thunder made some crazy moves. But
Mm.
I mean, it all started with Paul George saying, "Hey, like I want to trade."
Yep.
Right.
And it put the Thunder in a really tough spot. But they traded him for those who are unaware, they traded him to the Clippers. And right now, the Clippers are insane. They're going to be so
Yeah.
fucking good.
Definitely
got
hard to
Paul-
beat.
Good.
Yeah, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's the best player in the NBA right now.
Plus, they have
he's-
Patrick Beverly as their point guard too.
Patrick
like
Beverly,
just
yeah,
great
that-
defensively.
oh.
They're gonna be hard,
I-
man.
Well, you got not only that, but Kawhi and Paul George are both not shabby defensively. I mean,
Right.
PG was second in Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Yeah.
No, Kawhi's a monster. Kawhi's the best player in the NBA. And then you have like Lou Williams, who's like just crazy good. They traded for Mo Harkless, who is solid on the Trailblazers
Mhm.
last year. The Trailblazers made a lot of moves this offseason too, which is something a little more interesting. But like Terrence Mann, he's probably the worst player on that team, and he's still okay.
Right.
But like,
I mean, he
you
might
know,
start on half of the Eastern Conference teams, right?
I mean, yeah, but the Eastern Conference. Is just trash.
But that's the point I'm making. Like, he's the worst player on the Clippers, and he might start on half of the Eastern Conference teams right now.
Yeah,
Hell,
I mean,
some of the Western Conference too.
I think the over under on them for the beginning of the year coming in is going to be 60 games, and
60. I was thinking 58.
yeah, I mean, yeah, 58 maybe, man. I mean, I just think they're going to be crazy good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it could easily be 60. There's no doubt about that.
And
I
just the
just-
fact they're going to be sharing the same arena with the Lakers and walking by each other,
So
I think that's
before
going to
we
be hilarious.
get to the Thunder, let's talk about the Lakers for a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
let's stay in LA.
Great
They
pickups for
filled
the
out
Lakers. They recovered well. They've
got
recovered
AD.
well.
so
but they filled that roster out
But-
incredibly well.
Yeah.
who else did they pick up? I haven't.
Boogie Cousins.
They picked up Boogie. I saw that. So I mean, you've still got those three. and then
Avery
who else?
Bradley they picked up, I believe it was
Avery
today.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Solid wing pickup.
Yeah, what did he shoot
yeah,
from
but
three
he'll play.
last year?
He'll play guard for them though.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they'll have the same. They'll
Well,
have that Celtics backcourt.
So
No, they'll have that Celtic
news
backcourt from a few
today.
years ago.
right.
The news today is that
Rajon Rondo and Avery Bradley.
Right.
yeah. So they're moving LeBron to the point guard. Did you hear that today?
No, Rondo's the
Yeah.
point guard.
Yeah.
They literally were saying that today that they're
Really?
moving LeBron to the point.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could
I
see
mean,
that.
I get
I
it,
could
think
have
about it, his
definitely saw
age.
that if Kawhi was there. I would definitely see LeBron running point if Kawhi was there. But
I mean, that's the word on the street.
I
I'm
mean, he's
just
definitely gonna walk up the court with the ball majority of the time. Yeah, I mean,
so
he does that already. So
but by not getting a Kawhi, I mean, did they kind of fall flat at the end of the day on what they were expected or trying to
See,
do this
I
offseason?
don't
I mean,
I don't think so. I don't think
mhm.
so. Because
especially since it's the other LA team that ended up not only getting Kawhi but also getting PG, who if Kawhi's the number one player in the league, PG's got to be 2, 3 at the worst if you put Harden in front of him. When you talk about complete overall players, I mean, PG just he's 20, what, 28, 27, 28. He had his best season of his career last year.
Yeah,
And he was hurt for part. I mean, he was
true,
an MVP before he got hurt.
true.
yeah, he's 29.
Did the Lakers really do enough?
29.
I mean, how bad does it look that they couldn't seal the deal on like a Kawhi when he turns around and goes to the other LA team? You know, the other LA team that's not supposed to ever be better than the Lakers.
Yeah,
Yet somehow they got it done. I mean, they went and got the number one free agent. Not only did they get the number one free agent, but he was able to talk Paul George into going in and saying, "Hey,
yeah.
you know, we want to play together. Like, I need you to trade me.
And
Like, I don't feel
that's
like things are working here. I need you to trade me," which is
and,
basically what he told the Thunder.
and that's
I want to
something
go
crazy.
win. I
Just
want
the
to go
Thunder
home.
giving him away. Like if
I mean,
I
they
was the
didn't.
Thunder owner,
No,
I would have like
they didn't
no,
give him away.
no, you're
They
staying
didn't
here.
give him
You're under
away.
4 years. You're staying here. You're playing with Russell. Like I just
They
hate
didn't give him
how
away.
in the
So
NBA
here's the thing.
they're just these players are just demanding, hey, I want to be traded. You're like, okay, all right, let's go and trade you away. You're not happy. Bye. See you.
Well,
Like
I think
I don't
I
know.
think part of it, honestly, was that the Thunder were already planning to maybe looking to rebuild, or if not, like significantly planning to rebuild.
Right.
But
And I think it was the perfect storm. I think the Clippers came in and said, "Hey, we'll give you basically our next 7 years of draft picks,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll give you a young player in Gilchrist who's going to, I think, be a star,
Right.
and then a guy in Gallinari that
He's like,
is okay. You don't think Gilchrist gonna be that good?
no, I read this article today, and maybe it's just it was saying that Kid Gilchrist's role on the Lakers is just going to be the person that LeBron yells at when he gets mad. That I mean,
I
come on.
could see it. I could see it.
Oh wait, no, that's KCP. My bad.
Yeah.
Contagious Caldwell
Okay.
Pope. We're not even talking about Gilchrist. Isn't even. That's my fault. That's my fault. But
That's the kid that's the point guard out of Kentucky a couple years ago.
I think went to Georgia, didn't he?
Kentucky.
Caldwell Pope.
No, Gilchrist.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gilchrist.
I may be saying his name wrong. Hold on.
No, you're good. We're just confusing two different players the whole time.
Right.
But I think we need to, if we look back, it's just like
Mhm.
before, if we're staying in LA, we need to take a look at this last year's Zubac and Michael Beasley trade for Mike Muscala. Are you kidding me, Lakers? That is probably one of the worst trades ever. Like, come on. Come on. And they're like, Muscala's going to be our center. He's going to carry us to the playoffs. What do he play? Like 8 points a game after he was
No
traded?
idea. No
Averaged
idea.
8 minutes a game.
Yeah,
2
just
points.
total trash. And now they have, I mean, Zubac is like, he's a stud.
Mhm.
I mean, that was a terrible trade. And now you're looking at it, and the Clippers are the better team in LA right now. Obviously,
Yeah.
LeBron James is a stud. Anthony Davis,
Right.
they're both amazing. Their team is not bad. I mean, they have
Mhm.
Alex Caruso, Quinn Cook, who they picked up from Golden State, and he's a
Mhm.
solid point guard. He'll come off the bench and give you some good
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm just wondering how they're going to be working with Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins in there. I mean, and
Well, that's interesting,
Javal
right?
McGee.
I mean, you got a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much you're going to run the floor with those two out there at the same time.
And is
I don't
Boogie
know.
Cousins going to return to his old self after 2 years, after his injury? So
Is he going to
I
be
don't
healthy?
know. Well, and the same question could be asked of Kawhi, too. Is he going to be healthy this year? I know he's had some
We
issues
want
in
to
the
talk
past
health.
with injury.
I mean, the Knicks,
Yo,
the Nets.
the Knicks.
They got screwed so hard.
What are they even doing? The only thing I could see
Oh my
the the Knicks front office could get even worse if they do like some crazy trade and give like a crap ton of picks
I
and
don't
some
see it
crazy
happening.
package for Westbrook. And I
So-
don't think Westbrook makes their team
He wants to
better.
go to
No,
Miami.
Westbrook
He wants to go to Miami.
Yeah, I know you guys aren't in this, so I don't know how much of the Westbrook stuff you've been hearing, but he basically sat down with Sam Presti, him and his agent did, and said, look, we see the writing on the wall. You guys get it. We know you guys are ready to rebuild. I'm 31. I want to go play somewhere where we're trying to get a championship, which is in Oklahoma City right now.
Is that Miami?
Bring him to
No.
the Phoenix Suns.
I
Phoenix
mean-
Suns, come on, do it.
Yeah, I think Miami
would
right now with
be-
the trades
oh.
they've made this offseason, they
Booker,
absolutely.
DeAndre
Hold on one
Ayton,
second.
Russell Westbrook. That would be amazing if they were able to snag Westbrook.
I guess
But-
they have. Yeah, they actually. Yeah, they got a pretty good team.
Yeah, so they picked up what, Butler?
Yep, they have Butler in Miami.
and
Yeah.
somebody else this offseason. I don't remember who it was now. I just
Mhm.
went brain dead. But yeah, they've got a roster there. But here's the problem. So there's like 5 teams that can realistically afford/offer enough to make it worth it for the Thunder
Yeah.
to trade Russell Westbrook to them. And like 3 of them have already flat out told the Thunder he's a cancer. We don't want him.
Yeah.
And so now he's in this position where he's stuck here because PG bailed.
Yep.
And there might only be 2, maybe a third team that can even give the Thunder anything that would make them go, okay, we're ready to completely reset.
I mean,
What do they do with all these picks though? Like the Clippers are at least going to be good for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So at best, you're going to get a late first round pick. Okay, so maybe they have a bunch of injuries. Zach, you and I talked about this a little yesterday. Maybe they have a ton of injuries and get tanked next year or the year after. I mean, you never know. Stranger things have happened. And so they have all these first round picks over the next 6 years, plus they have 2 pick swaps.
Yeah.
So even if it falls on a year that they don't have one of the 2 years they don't have their first round pick, they have pick swaps available.
Yeah.
So at any time in the next 7 years, if the Clippers falter and they end up in the lottery and they get a 1 or 2 pick, it belongs to the Thunder
Right.
for the next 7 years. And let's be honest, the Thunder are going to be in the lottery for at least the next 5 years because they have Steven Adams.
Mm-hmm.
If this Westbrook trade goes, they literally have Steven Adams.
Who they're going to try and offload. I mean,
well, no, not now. I don't think they do now because you've
No.
already offloaded everything you needed to get your salaries down. Like, why would you offload him now? He's the only thing you got.
Yeah, I think you could probably get a younger guy.
Yeah,
I think if you can get like a 22 to 24-year-old guy, I think you do that. I mean, Steven Adams, he's getting. I mean, he's not young anymore. So
yeah. So let's talk about what do you
I
see
guess
as
he's
fair
20,
compensation?
He's 25.
Yeah, he's young.
That's
What do
bad.
you see as fair compensation for Russell Westbrook at this point? Like a lot of people don't want him. So the Thunder have lost their leverage because although he's a superstar, he's absolutely a top 5 basketball player. He lost a little bit of a step last season. We don't know if he was hampered by some injuries or if it was playing with Paul George or what it was, but he was definitely not the same player he had been. Average a triple-double, whatever. You can't put a lot of stock in that statistic, unfortunately. It's cool, but it is what it is. But you got 6 first rounders and 2 first round pick swaps and 2 players for Paul George. What are you getting for Russell Westbrook, who's been an MVP, who's been in the finals, who's averaged triple doubles for an entire season? Like, what is fair compensation? You got to get a first rounder, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's
maybe
it's still,
2.
Multiple.
No, it's still multiple. It's still multiple.
Multiple.
I don't care if people say he's like the worst player.
What if you got a really good young player,
right,
to help you rebuild
from
and a first round pick? Is that enough?
So
what are
unprotected first round pick too? It's got to be unprotected.
Right. So they were talking a little bit on the radio here in Arizona, talking about the Phoenix Suns potentially offloading like Mikal Bridges and some other young players that are studs. I believe one of the draft picks, Cameron Johnson, is like 23, 24, can shoot lights out. Because we need a point guard so desperately. And, I mean,
Ricky Rubio, bro.
Yeah, but he's just.
But are the
Ricky
Suns in a
Rubio.
position where Westbrook completes a team that can compete for a
I
championship?
think so.
in the West?
With Devin Booker and
Devin
DeAndre
Booker.
Ayton. That's,
I mean, that's
especially in the West with LeBron James and
and-
Kawhi Leonard. Like, come on,
but
we
that's what I'm
need
saying.
we need a
Is it enough?
superstar.
Is it enough though?
Yeah, who knows?
Is
But
Westbrook going to look at that and say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough"?
but I'm sick
I'm
and
not- I'm
tired of
not
losing.
sure.
I need the Suns to win. So I don't know. I think that'd be a great addition for the Suns, and they could offload some
Wait,
younger
wait,
talent.
I get that that's what you
Yeah.
want, bro, but that's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is it enough?
Yeah.
Like, is
Some young
Russ going to
talent
look at
first round
that
pick.
and go,
Yeah.
okay, are they going to have to give one of those young talented guys up to get Russ?
Oh yeah, for sure. With
Plus
draft
the
picks.
draft pick or
Exactly.
two.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think the price. So you've got an attitude issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Russell Westbrook's been here 11 years, and he still can't manage to get along with the media. That's been nothing but great to him
Yeah.
for 11 years. Like, people don't want to deal with that issue, and it's sad because he's a hell of a basketball player. He'll be in the Hall of Fame one day,
Mm-hmm.
but
No
I mean,
doubt. No doubt.
unfortunately, I just don't feel like he's the guy that I want to give away 2 or 3 first-round picks and a good young developmental player. If
Yeah.
I've got 2 other young guys who are on the verge of being stars,
Right.
if I have another young guy that I think can complement them, I don't want to give him away to get a 31-year-old point guard
Yeah.
who I'm going to pay $50 million a year 3 years from now for.
He's
It's
worth
that,
it.
it's that contract, dude.
Yeah, so the Thunder almost have zero leverage in trying to trade him
Right.
because everybody knows he wants out, so they've got to do
Mhm.
something because you don't want to have him on your roster now. And there's so many reasons not to sign him.
Right.
Like, there's just a ton not to sign him. It's
Right. But yeah, if he
so
does
it
end up in
really-
Miami, I wonder what they're going to be giving up for him.
so
to
let me
get
let me
him.
run this, guys.
Yeah.
Woj made a tweet or an article about this earlier today. The Raptors, okay?
Raptors. Ooh.
The Raptors had an opportunity to get Westbrook and Paul George and keep Kawhi Leonard.
Really?
Had a chance, and they turned it down because they didn't want Westbrook.
Wow.
So because they didn't want Westbrook, they lost Kawhi and Paul George because they just didn't want Westbrook.
That's insane.
Can you believe that? Like,
No.
I'm sorry, I figure out how to make
think-
that work, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think, and I read that. I also thought that they really wanted Siakam in that deal.
Siakam is the
Yeah,
guy
they
that
did. Yeah,
wanted
and they don't
to
want to
keep
give him up.
That's why. That's
Yeah.
exactly why they wanted to keep him instead of.
Which-
Literally, you probably just bring yourself at least 3 trips to the championship, and you depending if you can outlast LA,
Mhm.
which or maybe the Warriors if they find a way to get back healthy.
The
No.
Warriors will be.
But-
They'll be like an 8. They'll
But
be
that's
a
what I'm
6
saying,
or
like,
8 seed next year.
seriously,
I mean, they'll make
guys,
the
like,
playoffs, but they're not gonna-
They literally gave up the opportunity to have that.
But the
They turned it
NBA
down.
is going to be so fun next year. It's just open.
Oh yeah.
It's just so
Oh, yeah.
open. It's so exciting.
Let's-
So I can't
Let's
wait.
not forget about my Denver Nuggets.
you guys got
Jeremy
Mike
Grant.
Conley, right?
Jeremy
What?
Grant.
You guys got Conley, right? Point guard?
No,
No?
Conley went to the Jazz.
Oh, he went
Yeah.
to Jazz. Oh, okay.
But-
That's right.
Well, this morning I was talking to Matt about this morning. We traded for Jeremy Grant. It was next year's first
from
round
the
pick for
Thunder.
Jeremy Grant, who's the power forward for the Thunder last year.
I mean,
Man.
so you know that I'm going to be like praying for massive injuries to the entire Nuggets roster and for them to go 0-86 or 3 or 5, whatever how many games they play now, just so we can get that number 1, or at least bad enough
Right.
that they're in the lottery, so we'll have a chance.
Right.
I mean, the Nuggets don't even need Michael Porter Jr. to do any more than like 12 minutes off the bench a game, and I still think I think they're a top 3 seed in the West.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane, isn't it? Like,
And I think
we
that
could literally talk about this for days.
I mean, I think that Jeremy Grant gets the same amount of playing time he did at the Thunder, and I think he just steals Mason Plumlee's minutes because he's going to play. He's so much more valuable than
Bro,
Mason
he's a
Plumlee.
bulldog, man. Like, he's just
so
one
good
of those high
defensively.
energy. He's a hard worker. Like, I as a Thunder fan, I loved him. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people gave him a lot of shit because his shooting never quite came around here. He
I
never
mean, he's
quite
not-
put it all together. But man, when he was on the court, the Thunder were a better team defensively, And when you got Russ and you got PG and you got those guys and you got another guy that can lock it down on defense, like it made us a better ball club. We held people under 100 points. I think we won like 80 or 90%. We won 90-something% of our games last year when we held opponents under 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
the majority of the time when we did that, Jeremy Grant was on the floor more than he wasn't.
No, I mean, he averaged 32 minutes a game for the
Yep.
Thunder last year, and last year he took major steps forwards in offense. I think he shot like 49.7% from 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then like 39% from 3. If he just shoots 39% from 3 again next year,
Yeah.
I mean, I am
Yeah.
overjoyed. I mean,
If
we
you get
gave
high
him
30s.
yeah, anything above 37, I think
Yep.
he adds so much value. Mason
Well, I
Plumlee
mean, even if
hit
he's right
anything
at that,
above
though.
30% of his threes. I mean, but and you got to think that he's going to get a better like 2-point field goal percentage just because you're playing on the floor with the best passer in the NBA, Nikola Jokic, or the best passer at center at least. So
Okay.
I don't like his name. It sounds like you're vomiting when you say that.
dude, dude, come on, don't hate. He's a representative. He's a monster. So
that's really all we're waiting on now, right? We just got to figure out if Russ is actually going to get traded.
Right.
yeah, I don't.
If I were him, I would want to go to the East. I mean, you for sure would
Yeah,
want to
you
go to the East.
don't
West
want
is
to
too
stay in the
stacked.
West. I just can't
West
think of
is too
anywhere that he
stacked.
could go where he's going to be able to join another superstar that's going to
Right.
give them a legitimate chance to
Right.
win. Like I just don't see that as
See,
an option.
I honestly think he might. The Knicks might come out of nowhere. I don't think it makes the
Yeah.
team better, but
The
I think
problem
the Knicks might come
is
out of
the
nowhere.
Thunder aren't just going to dump him to the highest bidder because the relationship is not strained. Like he didn't come to them being psycho saying I want to trade. It was just an adult conversation between him and Presti and his agent. The Thunder were fully expecting it to happen, and because he is so loved with this organization, they're not just going to dump him to the highest bidder. He's going to have a say in where he goes. Like the Thunder, Sam Presti's already said that. Like this isn't just a dump him and let him go lay wherever he ends up. Like we're going to work together to find Westbrook a home where he can go try to win. The problem is his contract. At the end of the day, somebody still has to be able to pick that up, and that limits a significant amount of teams, luxury tax or not. It's a shitload of money.
Yeah.
It's like 40 mil this year, 43 next year, 47 the year after that, and then 50.
Screw it.
30,
Do it.
What will be a
Do it.
35-year-old point guard at that point? Like, there ain't been many point guards that have lasted that long and still been super productive.
Yeah, especially if his style of gameplay just reckless. I mean, yeah.
So that's
knows?
it though. Like, there's not really anybody else hanging out there. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if this happens a week and a half ago, before free agency or right as free agency was starting, the Thunder, if they would have fire sold it then and just done it, like obviously PG didn't tell him he wanted to trade till after the fact, but like if this doesn't go down the way it does, the Thunder have a hell of a lot more leverage.
Yeah.
And I think, you end up getting a lot more. Like they're trying to get the Siakam from the Raptors. Like they tried to do something to get rid of both of them. Like their goal was to rebuild. They knew damn good and well when the Toronto deal fell off and they had to just go with the deal for PG to the Clippers. They knew that Westbrook was next. Like Amy woke me up Sunday morning or whenever it was that the news broke late Saturday night. We'd already been in bed.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it. And I told her, I said, stop lying to me. Like I was like, there's no way. They did not just like if she would have woke me up and said they traded Russell Westbrook, I'd have been like, hell yeah. They're finally doing it right. They're gonna try to rebuild around Paul George. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I literally thought she was just bullshitting me.
Yeah. No, I mean it's the NBA is crazy, and I'm sure we'll talk about the developments on further podcasts.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
so anything else there?
Super exciting. I mean, no, not from an NBA standpoint.
No,
not yet.
Not really.
But
all right, let's talk about some soccer.
Soccer, women's soccer has been going crazy, taking the U.S. over just
World Cup back to back. First time the U.S. has ever done it in men's or women's.
Yeah, I think they're leading jersey sales, some crazy like that. I don't know, insane.
Pay them.
It's awesome. Pay them.
That's why I brought this up actually. So,
okay.
Obviously, I got 2 daughters,
Mm-hmm.
so this is something that's kind of near and dear to me. Like having to explain to my 9-year-old who plays competitive fast pitch softball, like that there's not. She watches Rangers games with me all the
Yeah.
time, but to explain to her that there's not like
Money in it.
there's not like a major national softball league
No.
that she can aspire to go play for. Like she can play for the national team, right? Which is finally, it's going to be back in the Olympics at some point in the near future.
Mhm.
Now that, this is what happens. The U.S. is really good at a sport, so all the other countries come together and they say, oh, we don't want that sport in the Olympics because the U.S. just kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with softball. Like we
Right.
kicked everybody's ass for so long, which Japan actually, I think, ended up winning the gold medal game in the last Olympics that softball was there. But, why are we not paying these women the same? Why is our men's team that can't even win the Gold Cup making
Mhm.
more than our women's team that just went and won the World Cup? Which I can argue was a better competition than the men's side of the World Cup last time around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a better
There's
game to
no
watch
reason-
too.
There's no reason we shouldn't pay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's absurd,
from
man.
viewership, from
Mhm.
like for at least from the Women's World Cup standpoint. That I mean, the bonus. If you look at the bonus structure, I think they make substantially less than the men do. Like the winners of the Men's World Cup, I think it's something ridiculous,
Yep.
like a $40 million or something, like a prize for people who win the Men's World Cup, and then in the Women's World Cup, it's like $4 million. It's just crazy. And at least here in the United States, now viewership across the world is obviously a lot different. But at least here in the United States, I know that the women, are doing incredible and they're so fun to watch. I mean, if aside from this topic where they should make not probably, they should make more just
Right.
because than the men, because if the men win the Gold Cup, even if it's remotely close
Right.
to the women winning the World Cup, it shouldn't even be an issue.
Well, and not
But-
only that, but they couldn't get it done either. Like
Yeah,
and,
no,
and
exactly.
the truth is they probably made more losing the championship of the Gold Cup than the girls did winning the final of the
Mhm.
World Cup. Now I don't have the exact numbers, and that's
Right.
it's something I meant to look up before we had this conversation. I just wanted to touch on it.
Yeah.
I
That's the
mean,
important thing is
hopefully
the
some
numbers.
people
Like how much
listen to
money is
this.
being made. I mean, obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
men, obviously I'm a little older than you guys, so I already have kids and yada yada
Mhm.
yada. So for me, like I'm probably more
Well-
passionate about it now than I ever have been,
Right.
just simply because I've got 2 daughters that I have to explain this kind of crap to.
Right.
All right, listen to
And
these
it's
numbers.
not fair. Oh, you know what? The wife just came in with a save. So
Nice.
so here's the breakdown for the U.S. National teams for the men. So they both play 20 exhibition games per year. Player pay per win for the men is $17,625. Player pay for the women for a win is $1,300. Not 13,000.
Wow.
It's 1,300. It's literally $16,000 less for a game win for the women than it is for the men.
Insane.
For a loss, the women get nothing. If they
Oh
go
my
and
God.
play a game and lose, they get nothing. The men get $5,000.
Wow.
The players
Wait, the men
pay
get
for
more if they
making.
lose than the women do if they win.
Yeah.
That's
So-
insane. Oh my
So-
goodness.
That's messed
Player
up, dude.
pay for making the World Cup team. If a male player makes the World Cup team, he gets $68,750 is his pay. Okay, just for making the World Cup team. A woman gets $15,000.
That's insane.
Team pay for World Cup performance. Okay, for losing in the round of 16, what the men did last time, they made $9 million. For winning the World Cup this year, the girls' team got $2 million to split.
Yep, I just saw
Wow.
that number. Yeah, the USA earned $2 million. Actually, this is saying after their 2015 victory.
Still, it doesn't matter. Now it might
$4
matter.
million,
A little bit.
it doubled this year. $4 million.
So
Doesn't matter.
still, it's still less than half of what the men are being paid for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like it's
Yeah.
2019. Why are we still dealing with bullshit like this? Like any man who thinks that this is acceptable is a freaking moron. Like it's just
Oh
stupid.
my God. So to
And,
put
I
it
mean,
in
and I felt that way more. Like I've always felt that way, but I feel that way more, obviously, because I have daughters. So it's incredibly personal at this point
Right.
because I have daughters that are athletic, that love sports, that want to play, and I have to have conversations like this with them, and
Right.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous to me.
to put it in perspective, So the U.S. women for this year, they won $4 million after winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
France, who won the World Cup last year in the men's, took home just about 10 times that at $38 million.
I
So,
wonder what
that's
France's
insane.
women's team made this year for getting knocked out in the semis by the U.S.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
it was more than our women made for winning it.
Well, definitely not from the World Cup prize pool because that's
Yeah.
distributed like evenly.
Well, yeah,
and it would just go like
just
internal.
money. This is money from the U.S. to the team for winning.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Is at least was the way it was explained on the thing Amy just.
But
gave me.
if we're looking at players here, moving on from this from the salary and the compensation standpoint, which is
Okay.
obviously super important that we even this out. But if we're looking at like players on this team, everybody's talking about Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan, and both of them are amazing players. Props to them. Obviously, 6 goals and 3 assists each is, amazing and just absolutely incredible. But like that midfield for the US is what drove that victory. I mean,
Right.
Rose Lavelle, she was probably the best player on the pitch in the final. It wasn't even close.
She has like the greatest name ever. It fits her so incredibly perfect. Like just her demeanor. It's just something about it. Like I absolutely love it.
She's so good.
The girl's a stud, man.
So good. Also, just so everybody knows,
liked
she
what
has
Alex
her
Morgan
dog.
had to say about her.
Matt, this
Go
is
ahead.
top tier analysis right here. Her dog has an Instagram account, her dog has a Twitter account that is freaking hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. Then.
I'll find it and I'll tell you what it is, and you need to follow it because it is just
All right.
hilarious.
Can do.
But yeah, so I mean, and then Ertz, so good. Mewis, Haran, just that midfield was absolutely incredible. That they just crushed it all. It was awesome. It was so fun to watch. It was amazing, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Nice.
But it is just she's the best player. Roosevelt's the best player in the U.S. uniform right now.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. She was supposed to be like the future star, and I like what Alex Morgan had to say. Like she's not a future star; she's a star now.
Yeah,
100%. And it's the truth. And there were several girls that came off the bench that just big goals and big minutes, big plays and big minutes. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Congratulations to the women's team for winning that World Cup back to back. First team ever to do it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. First U.S. team to do it. Other countries have done it. First time for the U.S. to do it.
It's awesome.
Pretty sure.
Is it well specifically to the women's World Cup? Is it?
No, I thought France had done it once before, or Germany maybe. I could be mistaken. I thought it was just the first time the U.S. women's had done it. But I mean, I've been wrong before, so I could be wrong now. I have to confirm that. But yeah, still, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody else has done it before. They just did it at a time when parity is huge.
Oh, you know what?
The Netherlands, like they were just kind of this team that was kind of middle of the road. Like a few people thought they might be a dark horse, but I mean, look what they did. They fought their asses off and damn near pushed. If it's not for a correctly called penalty, who knows how that game turns out? I mean, that was a big turning point in that game. So
for sure. And then
we'll see what happens.
Correct myself. Germany did do it in 2003 to 2007.
Nice.
And I do believe that Jill Ellis is the first coach to win back-to-back titles.
Nice.
Which is congratulations to her. I mean, that's we got a soccer kingdom here in women's soccer, so that's awesome.
I'm talking about the money here, but let's talk about, I believe it's Title IX, right? That's the something that happened when I was a young man. I think I was in middle school or maybe high school when that started. I want to say middle school. But it spawned a team in '99 that set the world on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been progress, but I think it's time to make the rest of the progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Matt.
It's time for us to finish this deal and do it right.
Matt, I completely agree with you. But I'm gonna have to be completely honest. Is that I don't know enough about this topic to really
Yeah.
go in depth on it.
Right. As far as the money being made and the
Yeah.
viewership,
No.
because
And yeah,
that's the
I
biggest factors. I mean,
yeah, and
it's the same for
completely,
the NBA and WNBA. You know, I mean, obviously WNBA isn't pulling in money like the NBA does. I mean,
No, not at all.
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
and even I mean I completely agree. I mean, especially for the women in the World Cup and all this stuff. But I mean, from a Title IX standpoint, I don't know anything about it.
mhm.
I mean, I know what like
Right.
the overarching stuff about what it does, but I don't think that I can have an in-depth analytical
Intelligent.
discussion.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
same.
see what comes of the kind of crusade here to
Yeah.
get some better pay, and
No. Yeah.
maybe we'll
All
be able
for
to
it.
have a deeper conversation later for
Yeah.
that.
No, I
Mhm.
agree. And you know, maybe I mean, if you give me a couple weeks to do or maybe just a
Yeah.
week to do some research, I would more than love to have a conversation about
Right.
this in depth. But
Absolutely.
currently, I don't think I know enough about it.
Yeah, let's see what happens going forward from this, and maybe we'll have a reason to revisit that later when there's an update. Like maybe we'll get to actually see some change happen there.
Yeah, no, I'd love. Yeah, I'd love to revisit it, and then I'll actually I'll take a note and make sure that I do
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome.
some more research about
All
it.
right,
All right.
Zachary, I think you had a important topic you wanted to cover this evening.
Well, as we're speaking, it is currently the midpoint of the MLB season.
Ooh, All-Star break.
And let me tell you, man,
Home run derby tonight.
home run derby right now. Vlad Guerrero Jr. broke a record in the first round, hitting 29 home runs in the first round.
Oh, he broke Hamilton's
Jesus
record?
Christ.
Yeah. And then he comes back
Wow.
and hits 29 more in the second round.
Oh,
Oh
my
my.
God. Insane.
He is currently it's two rookies, Pete Alonso and Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Vlad.
in the finals right
I
now.
think those balls
Vlad.
are tightened a little too extra tight, in my opinion. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
It's
come
been
on,
that the
Justin
past couple
Verlander.
years.
Come on, Justin Verlander. I don't want to hear him.
Yo, I got Verlander on my fantasy team. So anything if he can inspire change to make his ERA go down, I'm for it. I'm for it.
You got a guy who's getting a little long in the tooth that is looking for a reason why his balls are getting hit harder than
Whoa! This guy is starting the All-Star game. Okay, so I don't want to hear it.
I
Guy's a
mean,
stud.
I'm not saying he's bad. Verlander's
top
been
5
great
pitcher in
for a
baseball.
while. No, absolutely.
Mm.
But I'm just saying, like he's my age, and I know what I feel like at my age, bro. Like I don't know. How old is he? He's got to be mid-30s, right?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
might be your age. I think he actually
Yeah,
is.
I know we're close to the same age, 35, 36. He's somewhere. He might be older than me, actually.
He is 36.
There you go, same age. So like, I get it. Like, do we really think that that's happening? I mean, let's talk about this for a minute because this is kind of.
No, it is. It is. I
You
mean,
think?
so, yeah. So basically what happens is, so the MLB makes balls, a certain number of balls.
Kind of like
at a
South
time
America, right?
By, I can't remember exactly.
I think it's
whether
down South America, yeah.
Yeah, South or Central America.
Yeah,
Maybe
something
it's
like
in the
that.
Caribbean. I can't remember. But so they make them in these huge batches, right? So
Mhm.
they have like different compositions, tightness, like the threading and the stitches have different. They're all like tiny bit different. Now, generally, what happens is that one grouping of balls that was created will go from the beginning of the season
To the
so
end.
April or March, no, to July, right? So
Yeah.
Halfway.
and then
Okay.
they change up the balls because they just, I mean, through normal progression of them losing them, going through them.
Yeah. I mean, they go through a ton of balls. Like.
Yeah. So we're getting to the point. This
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm
where they're
12.
going to switch to a new set, and we don't know
What's gonna come of it? Yeah.
how that will change it. So the difference is like, let's say if it's the tiniest bit of difference in like the stitches, if the stitches are more pronounced, then the pitcher is going to be able to get a better spin rate. They're gonna
Right.
have more,
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
there's
it's just
so
gonna-
much that goes into it. I mean,
Exactly.
infinite
Science.
possibilities.
Yeah. So
Literally infinite possibilities from that
yeah,
point.
and I believe the Major League Baseball did come out and say that the balls have some properties that are a lot different this year than they were in previous years.
We're
So they're
juicing
little-
the balls,
they're
boys.
just kinda So what they're saying is the lot that's been used in the first half of this season is a little juiced.
Yep.
Is a little,
Like
they're not
that's a
saying-
legitimate
I don't-
thing.
I don't think
Hey.
they're saying they're juiced.
Hey, I'm all for more exciting baseball. That's all I'm gonna
Yo,
say. You
anytime-
I
know,
mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
If Arizona Diamondback player Ketel Marte can hit 20 home runs in a half a year after hitting
hey,
13
he's a
as his career
stud.
high-
He's a stud, man.
Oh, he's so good.
He
I have
is
him on
a
my fantasy
stud.
team too. He's
Yeah.
I mean he's batting like 311, 20 home runs and like 55 RBIs and runs. As
Yeah.
a monster.
Yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
monster. But I don't
Love
know
him.
if he's a 40 home run a year guy.
Yeah, I
30,
don't know. 30, yeah.
I can buy.
Yeah.
I can buy.
can see
But
that.
40, we're really I mean
Yeah.
we're getting to like Ketel Marte is not Matt Olson, right? So I don't
We'll
know.
see.
We'll see. And if he hits 40 home runs this year, I
Mhm.
probably win my fantasy baseball league. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm all for it.
maybe he's juicing. Maybe it's not the
Yeah.
balls. I mean, do we really know anymore? Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. But this season has been so. To me, it's been so fun. I've really enjoyed the Major
Screw
League
the
Baseball
Dodgers.
dude.
I hate the
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
If we're looking at- if we're
I mean,
looking
yeah,
at-
let's go there since Trunk brought it up.
Oh my
Let's look
God.
at it. Let's start with the National League. I mean, best
Yo,
team
the
in the NL and possibly the best team in
Yep.
baseball.
the
MLB
best team
right
in
now.
baseball.
Yep,
They're the best
for
team in
sure.
baseball. They have like a 14 game lead.
Yeah,
right now.
it's terrible.
insane.
It's terrible.
13 and a half over the Diamondbacks
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, and
60 games.
Yeah.
The
Insane.
Diamondbacks are what, one game over 500, and they're like
Yeah,
28.
Yeah. We're like half a game above Colorado right now. So
Yeah, so they're 60 and 32 right now.
yeah.
28 games over 500. Come
Yeah.
on, are you
Insane.
kidding me?
I mean, just
I'm gonna
think of
tell
that pace though. Like at 60,
Mhm.
I mean, can they win 120 games?
I hope they
Yeah.
make it to the World Series and choke again. I hope.
I mean,
please.
that's kinda what
I
they
want to
do.
see
Well,
it.
they've already
I want to
played-
see it again.
They've already played over half their games, so they've played
Yeah.
92 games. There's 162 games in the season, so they have 70 games left.
Right.
They would need to win 60 of 70 to hit 120. So there's
Yeah. No way.
I think they hit 100. I think they go like 102, 101.
I mean,
see
I
it.
sure hope they hit 100 if they're sitting at 60 at the All-Star break.
Right.
Well, here's the thing though, with the Dodgers, obviously, Ryu has been, the best pitcher in baseball. But all of that, Kenta Maeda has been really good. They all have injury problems. So
Yeah.
they're not going to throw. When it gets to August, September, they're not pitching every week. I mean, they're going to start skipping starts and
You
give
think?
like, oh yeah, to protect them for. I mean, they should have the most fresh starting lineup and starting pitching rotation going into. You need 4 guys
Mhm.
to pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah,
sure.
elite.
Them-
You got to
Yep.
have 4.
If you give them 4 guys, if you give them Clayton Kershaw, who should sit some,
Yep.
Walker Buehler, Ryu, and then either Rich Hill or Maeda. Those 4, I mean, that's insane. That's so good. I mean,
Studs. I
wonder
Rich
which
Hill
Buehler
obviously
we
is
end
hurt
up
right
with.
now.
So do we end up with a Bueller that was just dominating, or do we end up with the one that got his ass beat the other night?
Well, I mean, let's be real. He got his ass beat in cores. So
I mean, I don't care where you get your ass beat. You got your ass beat.
Ryu got his ass beat in cores. No pitcher is safe. Matt, we went to a game in cores.
We did.
The
we
final
did.
score of that game was 14-8.
Yeah. Grand
I-
slam and inside the park home run. I mean, we saw it all. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But
So-
in the same boat, like, is he going to
I
be
mean-
able to perform in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, no. Walker Buehler is like a top 10 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
And-
You know how I feel about him. You know, I like the kid, but
Yeah, I
He's a
mean,
kid.
if
He's
you
a
think
kid,
about it,
man.
on the
You
other
know.
side of that coin, like 2 weeks prior, he did a 3-hit, 16 strikeout performance against the same team.
Oh, yeah, I know.
in Dodger Stadium.
I'm
Like
the one that told you about that.
8 innings, 16 strikeouts. One of the best
Yeah.
pitching performances all year. Walker Buehler's a stud, and he will win a Cy Young in his career. He's that good. He's that good. So,
That good, huh? He's that good?
Yeah, no, he's
Alright.
super good. I mean, I would give him like a Justin Verlander comp. He's that. I don't know if I would give him a ceiling of like maybe the best pitcher to ever play the game in Max Scherzer. I don't know if
Yeah.
I would give him that comp.
So let's.
But I think he can. I mean, he's got mid to high 90s fastball, a great curveball. If his secondary pitches come in, he's unhittable. So
Okay. So let's
then
talk
on the-
about. Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I was just saying on the other side of the on the other side of the coin. Yeah, no, but the NL Central, mostly corn, by the way. But
Right.
all teams are within 4.5 games.
Insane.
So who comes out of there? I mean, is
Cubs.
Yelich able to pull the Brewers up enough by himself? I mean, can he do that? I don't know that they've got
No,
enough
it's the
parts
Cubs.
around him.
It's the Cubs. Unfortunately, I'm a huge Cardinals fan, but as
I mean,
I think it's the
they're
Cubs.
so like manic though. I mean, they're so up and down and all over the place. Like I've read 6 different articles this year. Oh, the Cubs are finally back. You know, they're finally putting it together, and then it's like then they go 6-game losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at it in the last 10 games, the Cubs, Brewers, and Cardinals, so all the teams that are 500 or better, are 4 and 6.
4 and 6. Yeah, exactly right.
They all have the Cardinals. The Brewers have like the same away record, but a better home record. And they've played 3 more games. They have 3 games in hand.
Well, and the Cubs are murdering everybody at Wrigley, and they almost can't win a game away from Wrigley.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
in the NL, is it really just the Dodgers and the Braves and then everybody else? Are the Braves for real? Is this young team really this good?
that offense is legit, dude.
Do they have the pitching?
That offense is legit, dude.
So just some perspective, and you answered my question, but I'll explain why I asked that. So the Cubs are 7 games worse than the Braves right now. Granted, that division, they get to play Miami and the Mets a lot, which aren't very good right now. But they only have a 59 run diff, and the Cubs have a 55 run diff. So they're 7 wins positive, but their run difference wasn't that good, which means they're just right now they're literally just out hitting the opposition.
Yeah, but they'll do that all year.
No, and that's fine. But does that work in the playoffs?
They're less so.
I mean, history has showed us that it doesn't. Like, you got to have at least 2 guys that can start games for you and a closer that can come in and shut the door if you're going to win a World Series.
Yeah, I think interestingly enough, Mike Soroka's a beast. They're gonna have to skip starts coming up because he's never pitched over 115 innings or something. So if they want to save him at all for the playoffs, they're gonna have to skip starts coming here in the fall. And I think Max Fried is good. I mean, those are 2 guys that they should win some games behind. And they have a lot of really young talent in that bullpen and in the minors. I mean, Bryce Wilson, he looks to be like he could be a pretty good starter in the majors. Touki Toussaint's got really good stuff. I'm riding high on a lot of what they have going on there, but it's just, is it going to hit this year? And that's the question. Like Soroka hit this year, which is awesome.
I mean, we may be sitting here a year from now at the midpoint of next year talking about how the Braves won 60 games.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, no,
legitimately, we could be sitting here a year from now going, "Holy shit, this this team is stacked." I think they're a year away.
Yeah, I mean,
give me a dark horse for the National League.
Oh man, to what? Make the playoffs? To what?
Somebody who might be able to make the playoffs and still a series against the Dodgers. Because, I mean, right now, we're all pretty much expecting the NLDS is going to be somebody versus the Dodgers, right?
Right.
So give me a team that could either knock the Dodgers out before or make it to the NLDS against the Dodgers and beat them. Dark horse.
I don't know how dark of a horse they are, but the Nationals could do that.
What about Philly?
No.
You don't think Philly's scary enough?
No, their lineup's good. Their starting pitching is fine. I mean, they have Aaron Nola, who's been legitimately one of the best players, one of the best pitchers over the past month. He's been ridiculously good. After that, okay, who do you have? I mean,
but can they end up being a team that manages to outscore everybody else in the playoffs?
I mean, they're not bad. They don't have a better offense than the Braves.
Okay. enough.
Though I will say Bryce Harper has been a lot better of late. He's been a lot better of late, but I don't think he has a better. I don't think they have a better offense than the Braves do. I mean, they have some really talented players. I mean, they're
I mean, obviously.
Scott Kingery is a stud. Jake Arrieta. I mean, did you read the reports that Jake Arrieta has bone spurs in his elbow? I mean, what is his
Ooh.
performance going to be? He needs surgery, but he's going away. He's not going to do it.
They definitely can't. They definitely can't go deep without him. There's no way.
Nick Pivetta is like the wonder boy for Statcast, but he's never done anything. Like he's had a few good starts, but nothing terrific. I mean, Vince Velasquez is fine. I mean, he's been good. JT Realmuto, he's a top 4 catcher, but he's got some injury problems. Rhys Hoskins he's a stud. He's really good. Honestly, the Andrew McCutcheon thing really hurts them. He's like a main run producer for them. They don't really have an on base guy that got on base as much as Andrew McCutcheon did at the top of that lineup. So Cesar Hernandez is probably going to regress a little bit. He's been overperforming, I think, what he normally does. But I would say the Nationals, and that's just because I do think the Nationals have a sneaky offense, and then their rotation is so good. I mean, Scherzer to Strasburg to Corbin is the best top 3 in all of baseball.
How much better off are they in that race right now if Bryce Harper's in a Nationals uniform?
I mean, they're a better team.
Yeah.
But they don't sign Patrick Corbin if they re-sign.
Very true.
By the way, I miss Patrick Corbin.
He's that guy. He's
Stud.
so good.
He's a stud.
He's so good. But if you look at it, Anthony Rendon is a killer. I mean, he's a killer third baseman. He walks more than he strikes out. He's gonna hit 30 home runs. He's a stud. Trey Turner is gonna hit 15 home runs and steal 55 bases this year. The guy's ridiculous, and he was injured. Juan Soto, everybody's favorite breakout candidate of last year. He's been a little bit more disappointing this year, but he's still super good. I mean, he's batting 300 this year. I think. I mean, you got to be happy. He's only 20. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Eaton, that's a big meh for me. I don't really buy too much. Victor Robles he's having a Victor Robles season. Second half, Brian Dozier's coming on strong, man. I mean, batted like a terrible like 215 in the first half, but he always is way better in the second half. That's a sneakily really good lineup. I think that team could sneak in, and then Max Scherzer's the best pitcher in baseball. And if you go Max Scherzer to Steven Strasburg to Patrick Corbin, I think they have a good chance of taking 2 games off the Dodgers.
So, I mean, yeah, you get a bad start, and have a pitcher for the Dodgers give up 7 or 8 runs. They may not be able to recover from it against a team like that. Okay. Trunk, what about you?
Let's talk about gaming Fortnite. You guys been enjoying this update? I've been loving it. Loving it. Oh, yeah. I've been loving it.
Enough to love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. They've made some great changes, I thought. I love them rotating weapons every single day for the 14 days of summer. I love that.
I actually wish they would do that permanently.
Yeah, exactly.
I also wish they maybe not make it like daily though.
Weekly.
Like, or a few days, maybe like
every 3 days or something.
3 days or something.
Yeah.
I just have problems. Like sometimes I can't get on and play every day.
Right, and you miss it, and you're like, yeah.
Exactly. Like I was watching your stream the other day, Trunk, and you were like rocking out with the submachine gun, the tack, and I was like, bro, I want to use that gun so bad. I miss it.
Right.
Like,
right.
Oh,
I was in Minneapolis. I'm not being able to play the game. So
right.
I like the update. I think I like the pumps are back, and I like that the heavy shotgun's back. I really wish the heavy shotgun did a little bit more damage.
Well, it's already gone. So it was one of the days for
I know, man.
So
exactly, I didn't even get a game in when it was in. My favorite shotgun ever. I didn't even play.
I honestly hate that shotgun. It's never worked well for me. It's just been booty cheeks. Like I swear, like it's been. I'd rather take a gray tack over that. I don't know why. I don't know why it doesn't work well for me.
When I first started playing, a double pump was still back in the game,
right?
And when I ran double heavy, I was like,
Oh yeah,
I would murk
nasty,
everybody.
right?
Right,
Ugh.
right.
Because the fire rate was a little bit faster than the pump.
It
So you could just
was right.
swap between the two, just like, oh man, it
Yeah,
was so good, so fun. I
definitely.
understand why they removed double pump from the game, but I really loved it when it was in there. But
I
I,
personally
I
hated it because I wasn't good enough to do it. But,
Right.
I mean,
There's a skill
I'm
level, you know.
honest.
You gotta be this high to
I'm
get on the
honest,
ride,
dude.
you know.
My middle age
Ooh.
reflexes were not quite up to par for that.
Right.
yeah, well,
But
so that's one of the reasons why they wanted to remove it, because it was like, if you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
you're like
So
set.
strong,
But if you
right?
yeah,
can't, then
you're
you're just like
screwed.
you're gonna lose to this guy
Right.
every time. So
Just get
yeah,
better. Get better, kid.
well,
Get good.
Get
I honestly don't think
good.
if they brought it back, I don't think it would be that. Like the game has changed so much. Like people
Yeah.
are so good at
Man.
building and editing and everything.
Remember
That like
those first couple seasons? The strat was to build a big ass 1x1 and just this
Oh,
big
yeah.
ass. That was ridiculous. And like nowadays, if you see it, they're like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
and
come
then
on.
you rush
Like,
them.
have you
You're
lost
rushing
your
and you're like,
mind?
okay.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
I
goodness.
agree, man. I agree. I've been liking the updates, man. I
Yeah.
think they've done some really good stuff.
Mhm.
Obviously, they went through a rough patch,
They did.
especially right after
Yeah.
they removed like shield on kill. And
Yeah, and the pump
all that stuff.
shotgun. But I've grown
Yeah.
to love the combat shotgun. I've grown to love
just
it.
seems so strong to me. It's
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yeah,
It
it's a
is.
little
And
much.
I'm afraid they're gonna take it out, or they're just gonna severely nerf it. I don't know. So who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah,
I
and then
mean,
yeah, I mean I actually, and then I've been liking some of the rotating game a little bit too.
you're right.
Honestly,
Those are nice.
they've been super fun. I was having a great time actually with the other day when I was playing the headshot only,
Yeah.
and then I was doing the cartwheel dance, and nobody killed my
Ah,
head.
that's hilarious. That's so broken.
Just going around,
Who would have
nobody hit me for
thought?
anything.
Oh
Nobody
my
hit me. It was
goodness.
awesome. It was awesome. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's so
Yeah,
I've
great.
been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it. I stopped playing for a while,
Yeah.
but I've been getting more back into it. And Trunk and I
Right.
we playing quite a bit, and
Yeah.
I've been liking it a lot more. I
Yeah.
definitely lost a lot of my skills though.
Right.
So it's a slow build for sure.
Definitely.
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Just like the time investment to stay, just from a reflex standpoint. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not at the level you guys are anyway. But for me to feel like I can go out and be productive, I just don't have the time to invest like
Right.
where I'm at to
Yeah.
really be good at a game
That's
like Fortnite. So I
that's
mean,
for
I love
sure.
playing it, but I would love to go back to those early season 2, season 3, season 4
Yep.
days where not everybody was a god at Fortnite,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody
Those days
wasn't
are
just cut.
gone. They're never coming
Oh,
back.
yeah, and they're not. You're absolutely right. They're not. And so for me, that kind of sucks a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to just hop in a game and
Right.
kind of casually have fun. I mean, I
Filthy
pretty much have to
casual
run
you.
duos. Yeah, filthy casual. Exactly. I mean, that's part of where the name
There it
comes
is.
from. So what about Apex, Zach? So you're trying to get us back into Apex. I haven't played in a while. It's downloading now. I'm gonna give it a go.
Is
We
it
all
season
know-
2 finally for it?
It is season
Oh
2.
my
It is season 2.
goodness.
They
I ain't buying
added
another
some
one of
cool-
those
What's
shitty
new?
battle passes.
Right.
Though. Ain't no-
It was Dookie. Is it better?
wasted
No, I don't know.
$10 on that thing.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't look at the
Yeah.
Oh
Like
my
I love
goodness.
the game. I just think that they weren't doing enough to keep up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, I agree. I just think so. I think that whereas Fortnite adds like a very unique play style with the building mechanic.
Definitely.
I think that if we're looking at like a pure shooter, especially like I'm a big fan of first person shooters.
Right.
Yo.
The movement that they introduced into Apex just makes
insane.
it feel so smooth.
Yeah.
Like the sliding and sprint versus sprinting and stuff,
Yeah.
it just makes it feel so good.
Yeah.
Which is like, to me, it is so the skill floor is a lot. Obviously, the skill ceiling in Fortnite is crazy high, right? But
Right.
the skill floor is also really low, right? I mean, if you don't know how to build in Fortnite, you're gonna die every time.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But in Apex, like the floor and the ceiling. I think the ceiling is obviously lower just because there's fewer mechanics. But if your movement is like optimal, you're still gonna beat everybody, but like that. But there's still gonna be that guy who out of nowhere, gets 5 kills in a game.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Matt.
Hey,
Um,
hey, I have some good games.
yeah, exactly. You have some great games, and that's why I love Apex. And it's like the movement feels so good. And they actually, why I've been playing recently is they introduced ranked, and that's like
Did they really? That's
that's
interesting. Yeah.
some Zach music right there,
Mm.
man. I love it when I can like play and then they rank you up to
Right.
like with other people on your skill.
There's
So
still
like
no solo queues, right, for Apex at all?
no, it's you always have to do 3v3, but it's not like it's too hard. I think it's
Yeah.
easier to take down a full squad actually in that
Yeah.
than it is in Fortnite. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
and
I
I
do.
think that was one of the things for me about Apex is like if you guys weren't around, I really didn't want to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair.
Whereas Fortnite, like I can at least hop in and be bad and kind of do my own thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yep.
as big of a deal.
People say actually something I think is interesting is people always say that the Fortnite community, especially when you get killed by somebody and they BM you or something,
Yeah.
is really bad. But I think for the most part, like the Fortnite community is really good in the sense that if you play like or like duo fills,
Yeah.
the person who you're playing with is going to talk to you.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
most of them have
Most
a mic,
time, yeah.
whereas
Most
like
time.
in Apex,
No one talks. No
yeah,
one talks.
people have mics, or everybody has mics and no one talks. You're like, how?
It's
Like,
so strange.
I think that if Apex can increase the number of people talking, obviously I would like the game a lot more. Just
Right.
because it's fun to communicate and like have good communication with your team. But I really like the movement and the
Well,
gunplay in it.
let's talk about that a little bit, right? Okay, so if you're playing an online multiplayer game like that, folks, and you're joining random, have a mic. Talk to people.
2019.
Don't be
Come
a
on.
jerk. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Don't do that shit to people.
Yeah, definitely.
And like Amy just said, I bet a bunch of them are kids that don't let their their parents don't let them. Which I don't let my
Right.
kids either talk to strangers on the internet. I get that. Don't let your kid play a multiplayer game.
Hey, little boy.
You know what I mean though? Like, come on, like
Yeah.
show respect to the other people playing the games.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think the game's obviously better when you do get to communicate with your teams. Just because you're gonna work better as a team and you're gonna have more fun. I mean, it's always more fun to play with people.
Right.
I mean, that's how I met Matt was
Yep.
Playing
playing
Fortnite.
Fortnite, you know. So
Exactly.
it's
Same.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think there's some great opportunities out there if you just use what you have. Maybe you don't have something like a Yeti like
Yeah.
Matt or like Chocta and I have, but if you
Yep.
just have like a normal headset mic, like I've got one right here. I'll ship it to somebody.
Hey.
If you want. I don't care.
Right.
But
we can
if
figure
use what
that
you
out.
got, man. Use what you got. So, yeah. I mean, that's my thoughts on that. I mean, and obviously, you guys know I play quite a few other games other than that, but I think we can save that for at a later date. We can
For
discuss
sure.
those.
For sure. I just want the next big game to come out and to draw me away from Fortnite. That's all I want.
So
That's right.
what is the
That's all I
next
want.
big game? What are you guys excited about? What's coming
Classic
out soon?
WoW,
Excited about
obviously.
Classic
You
WoW,
already
yeah.
know Classic WoW. But I
Mhm.
feel like I'm going to get to a point where, I'm just going to get to a certain point a couple months in. There's like not much I'm going to be able to do. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get to that point or like, because I still love Fortnite. I just don't know how much, I don't know. I don't know how much time investment I'm going to be in the Classic WoW. I mean, it may just totally take over, Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's the big game I'm really looking forward to, but what I really miss is a really good Call of Duty. Like, I just feel like in recent years the Call of Duty has been so trash, and I miss that online multiplayer talking trash in the lobby. Like, I miss those. I miss Search and Destroy. Like those.
Oh man,
oh.
none of these kids could survive the Modern
No,
Warfare 2 chat.
no,
nowadays.
definitely
Oh,
not.
man.
Definitely
Right.
not.
But no, for me, I think I've not a WoW player.
Yeah.
Played a little
Obviously.
bit. But
Soon will be
Borderlands 3, dude,
changing it.
ooh, that's what's got me hyped.
Yeah,
I'm pumped for it.
definitely
Soon, yeah.
Borderlands.
Yeah, wait for my Horde
That's coming out in the Epic
Priest
Store, right?
guy. Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Yep,
I think
sure
so.
is.
Yeah, I think it's Epic
Dang,
Store.
all right.
Yeah, I might have to snag it, try it out, see. I never really fell in love with the previous Borderlands. Didn't they come out for Xbox only as well? The first and second one?
No, they were
No?
always PC games.
Were they?
I feel like
They might have came out first, but they were
I
always
feel like
on
they
PC.
didn't come out for PlayStation for some reason. I don't know.
Oh,
I just
maybe not
never got
PlayStation.
into
They might have
yeah.
been Xbox exclusives. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
bro.
it was super long ago.
But
yeah.
yeah,
yeah, no, it's available.
Super fan.
Windows, PlayStation 3,
Okay, yeah.
Xbox 360,
Well,
and
yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah, I just never got into it, so I don't know. Might give it a try if you guys are gonna be playing it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, just looking for the next big game. So
Yeah, I'll absolutely be playing it, bro.
I'm pumped for it, dude.
Madden, of course, for me. I mean, that's always a big
Mhm.
deal for me every year. Still debating between PS4
They
or
just need to make it
PC.
cross-plat. There's no advantage on PC. Just
So
cross-platform. Come on.
I thought I read somewhere where that was in the works, but don't
not
quote
for
me on that.
another couple years, maybe. Year or
Yeah,
two.
which is gonna suck. I mean, that's gonna be terrible.
Come on.
Because yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, there's just not. I mean, there's not a lot like that I'm really jacked up about, unfortunately.
Like Sea of Thieves had a lot of potential, but it just wasn't enough content. You know, I feel like Sea of Thieves could have been amazing, but it was just not enough content in the game, and they just dropped the ball.
Dead Souls creator are making that game that's going to come out early next year, which is going to look. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
And Cyberpunk 2077.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how that plays out.
Keanu Reeves.
Right. I knew that's where that was going to go. I should have known better.
What a stud. What a guy.
What a monster, dude. John Wick.
Yo, did you all see Spider-Man yet?
I have not. I think I've seen it this week.
So good. You got to see it.
Really?
So good. I loved it. I loved it.
I'll probably see it this week, man.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've been really looking at. I talked to some coworkers at work today, and they're like, "Hey, people are saying it's one of the best Spider-Mans."
For sure, one of the best Spider-Man by far.
I mean, and we're going through Toby, Andrew Garfield,
right,
and Tom Holland. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'll see it and report back what my thoughts are, man. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, definitely looking to the future movies.
You guys know me. I'm not a huge superhero movie guy.
Old man.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's all right.
Back in my day, we read comic books if we wanted to hear about superheroes. You damn
my goodness.
No, I mean, Spider-Man's probably my least favorite of all of the superhero type stuffs. Just not a fan of it.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
But, more power to you guys, man. By all means, go watch it and talk about it on here.
Goodness.
Content is content.
All right. Well, I think that does it for all our talking points. Do we have anything else we wanted to bring up?
One more.
We got one more?
The most important one.
What is it?
End of this month, boys.
End of this month?
Camp start.
My birthday?
Well, that too, but camp starting, bro.
Football camp?
NFL?
Oh, NFL. Yeah. It's about that time.
So we got plenty of podcasts between now and then to deep dive, but let's do like a base level. So Trunk, obviously a Steelers fan. Yes. I'm a Cowboys fan. Zach is a Chiefs fan. So here's what I want from you guys. Give me one thing that you're going to be looking for going into training camp this year. One thing for your team that you're excited to see how it plays out or curious to see how it plays out.
For me, I mean, it's just going to be the offense, with Connors, just how well that offense is going to operate, especially with Juju being the number one. Is he good enough to be a number one receiver? Because obviously playing second fiddle, Antonio Brown drawing that double coverage and opening up Juju. I'm really interested in how this offense is going to work. If they can be productive. And obviously, our defense needs to be better. We picked up a good linebacker. I think he's going to be solid. He's going to be filling that hole for Ryan Shazier. But yeah, just just wondering how that offense is going to operate this year if Juju is number one. So,
From a Chiefs standpoint, obviously there's a lot of question marks with Tyreek Hill right now. So
Yeah, there's a ton with Tyreek. I mean, is he even going to be there at all for the year? Or are we looking at,
yep.
I mean,
So we'll
potentially an
see. We'll
entire
see what
year?
happens there. So I'm actually not going to use him. I think that's the cop out answer.
Yeah, it's the obvious play.
But I'm going to say, how well does McCole Hardman, the Georgia wide receiver that we drafted?
Stud, by the way.
Yeah, I think
Absolute stud.
like the Sammy Watkins and Kelsey scheme of things. So we'll see. I mean, obviously the guy's got jets. So if he can really even if Tyreek plays, if he can still be like an over the top threat, I think the Chiefs offense keeps going forward.
You think Williams is the answer at running back?
I think Williams is a good enough running back that I think he's a good enough pass catcher that what he lacks in running ability, he will make up in like short screen plays. What about you, Matt? How about your boys?
Ooh,
Going into camp. What are we thinking?
Fuck you, Trump. Oh man, there's a lot. I don't know if I can even pick one because there's just so much.
He who introduces the topic does not have an answer.
Right.
Yeah, so I think number one for me is probably is going to be Travis Frederick's health. Coming back from the Guillain-Barré syndrome last year, is his strength returned? Mark Schlereth, fought that almost 20 years ago now. Was able to come back and still continue at a Hall of Fame level. Is he going to be the same bulldog that he was before? Is the strength going to be there? The dude's a hard worker, so I have no doubt that he's going to work towards that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is it really good? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be enough? And the rest of the offensive line is Connor Williams. The answer is the kid we just drafted from Penn State. I think McGovern's his name. An absolute monster. Connor Williams is kind of small for a guard. He didn't play really well last year as a rookie, even though he was kind of thrown, I think, in earlier than they wanted to with everything that happened with Frederick. So I would say the offensive line, and if I was going to add something else, would be, what does the offense look like under Kellen Moore? Is it different enough than what Scott Linehan did? Can he use these amazing parts that he has? What does the return of Witten do? I mean, like I said, there's 100 for the Cowboys, and I'm sure we're going to,
Jason Witten's back, isn't he?
Yeah, we're going to dive deep into the NFL because we're all three incredibly passionate about it.
Definitely.
So that's the biggest thing for me is like, can we get to football now?
Right? Exactly. Screw all these other sports.
We'll talk in depth about that, especially once camps open and we start getting a feel for all the teams. Obviously, we're not going to just talk about our three, but we're pretty in touch with a lot of what's going on, and luckily enough, we're all in 3 different divisions, so we know our rivals pretty well.
Right. Yeah, we get a lot of information out of that. So
yes, sir.
But good shit, boys. Enjoyed it.
Good podcast. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe and go and check out all of our social media. Go ahead and follow that. But yeah, you guys have a good one. Peace.
Thanks.
Later.